Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Film Freakz with a Z. That's right, the podcast all about movies. Oh, man. Let's see. The fan vote is going to happen next episode during Tay's suggestion. So make sure you guys check that out on Twitter. The new 4 movies will be available to vote on my Twitter. And if you want to, you can also retweet and like that if you want to get more votes for a certain movie. So far, we have a good amount of votes or movies to vote on. So your movie might not show up for a little bit, but don't worry about that. It's on the list, and we do them in order that we receive them. And then also after that, during Coco's suggested movie, we'll be revealing who wins the fan vote. So make sure you get your votes in, and also keep sending us movie recommendations, because we want to hear, or we want to watch, what you want to watch too. Speaking of people who watch things, let's introduce ourselves. I am Yemmy the Ferret, aka Yemmy. Who am I here with?
Hello, it is Greedy Waffle.
And Taymation.
And it's Coco Gamer.
How you doing, guys?
Good.
All right.
Good. You?
Nice, warm, sunny day here. Can't complain.
What is the weather where you guys are at? Like, how warm is it?
Here?
It was 50s
All
today.
rain.
Oh, I love
50s,
that.
it was 60s. Crazy.
It said 50s.
It's supposed to hit 102 tomorrow for me.
That's awful.
It is
Cold is
awful.
April, and cold is April, not where I live.
Yeah. I missed that. Anyway, sorry, back to movies.
Well, we have a little bit to get to before we start the current movie. Last episode, Coco was MIA. That's right, he was sick and he could not make it. Luckily, Odom K was there to fill the void, and we appreciate him coming on. If you guys want to check that out, we talked about The Hobbit from 1977 in the last episode. But Coco, everyone was kind of scratching their heads at the 1.5 out of 5 for that movie. We just wanted to kind of hear your thoughts on it real quickly and understand the mind of Coco.
Well, what I thought of the movie is just that, one, the weapons they got, which seemed to disappear, but when it said they were taken by them, do you think Gandalf would taken like 1 or 2 swords from them so they can at least if they were taken, they'll have them back? And also, it's a real big jump, but that dragon that was supposed to be extremely strong has one square weak point and gets shot and gets killed in 1 shot, which is extremely weak. So what's the big? So it's not that big of a threat. And I thought, what was it? Gollum. Gollum was not really paid well, because I thought he would be like a bigger, at least bigger of a character than he is. So that's basically my thoughts.
All right. Well, I mean, you could hear all of our thoughts in the last episode. We actually do touch on everything that Coco kind of talked about here, and why it worked for us in the movie. So if you want to check that out, you can. But Coco gave it a 1.5, which is the new meme on the Discord.
Yeah, they do not let me live that down.
But that's
Can't
enough
wait for,
about the last movie.
Right, this movie.
Oh, here we go. All right, so Nick, you,
Yes.
aka Greedy Waffle, suggested a movie for us. What you got?
Alright, so the movie I recommend that we watch was Brightburn. Made in 2019. Brightburn is also known as the Evil Superman. Who was it directed by? It was directed by David Urowski. Writing credits had Brian Gunn, Mark Gunn, and a little synopsis about the story. After a difficult struggle with fertility, Tori Breyer's dreams of motherhood comes true with the arrival of a mysterious baby boy named Brandon. Brandon appears to be everything Tori and her husband, Kyle, ever wanted. A bright, talented, and curious about the world. But as Brandon nears puberty, powerful darkness manifests within him, and Tori becomes consumed about terrible doubts about her son. Once Brandon begins to act on his twisted urge, those closest to him find themselves in grave danger. Who are some of the actors in it? Let's see. Elizabeth Banks, David Denman, which is also stars in that Netflix TV show. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank.
The Office?
No, yeah, that too.
He was in The Office.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
were talking about someone else. So.
And the young son, Jackson A. Dunn, Abraham Clickscales, and Christian Finlinson. All right, so I wanted to start out this movie or this conversation actually about the parents, because I think that was like my biggest gripe about the movie is whose side would you be on? Would you be on the mother's side or would you be on the father's side? Because I feel like the mother's side was all, like, oh no, he's our baby boy, you gotta protect him at all costs, and dad was like, kill him.
See, that's the thing that, like, you was reading that synopsis, and the mom's like, she struggles with her doubts. Like, the mom had no doubts. She's like, no, he's our baby. The whole time, until like, oh, he murdered people. Well,
Yeah.
I guess we should murder him. Like, it was a
And-
180.
I don't know. I mean, like the dad was presenting all the like reliable facts to
Yes.
him, like him being missing the day of the deaths of like the family members, and
The
like
blood on the clothes that he brought
yeah,
home.
the blood on the clothes, and she's still like, no, can't be.
See,
I was like, oh my god.
what I thought is, I thought she was like possessed by that same device that possessed Brendan. You know, the ship.
Yeah.
I thought like,
Yeah, that's
because
the-
she was the one who originally found him in that ship, that she was like, linked to the ship as well with him. So she was defending him vehemently because she was possessed or whatever. But as
That
it
would have
turns
been a
out,
good turn of events.
That would have been. That
Yeah,
would've been
so I actually
great.
did want to mention that too later on, but let's continue with this conversation.
right. So that's why I thought for the whole throughout pretty much the whole movie I was like, oh, she's defending him so much because she's kind of brainwashed, but it turns out that she should have listened to the husband the entire time. Although the decisions that these two people make
Are horrible.
are horrible decisions. I mean,
Yeah.
the dad knows that the son is like super strong at this point and kills people and blah blah blah. And yet he thinks that a bullet in the back of the head's gonna stop him. It's like, okay.
He
dude.
tried again. He's like, "Yeah, I'll get you this time." He's like, "Nah, you don't."
So yeah, I would definitely be on the father's side with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that too.
And the
So-
other, sorry, I'm going on to the kids' like motives. Like, I mean, the whole movie. I can't even like put it into words how dumb it was. Like his motivation for like who he was killing was like random and dumb.
Right.
Well,
And
I feel
him-
like
I'm sorry.
yeah, sorry. I feel like whoever like doubted him or like backtalked him in a sense, like was the next hit on or the hit list,
Kind of, except for like his parents did it and he didn't kill them. And then suddenly he was afraid of the sheriff. Oh, don't tell the sheriff. It's like, why are you afraid of the sheriff suddenly? You
Well-
murdered him in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was off screen. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, you were gonna say something before I cut you off.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I really wanted to see this character actually develop into an evil person, but it's like all of a sudden in a snap on his, 12th birthday or whatever it is, he just
just
gets
evil.
possessed and he just becomes evil. It's like there wasn't
Yeah.
like a gradual change in his
There was
character.
no character growth throughout this whole movie for anybody.
Yeah. It was just in a snap. We never saw him as the nice, cuddly young kid, right? There was the whole opening sequence with the the flashbacks that were like seconds
was-
apiece. But really,
Like 10 seconds.
essentially after the initial hide and seek part of the film, like that whole day kind of went by really fast, and then at that night he's speaking possessed words and trying to get into the place where they locked up the spaceship, and from there it's just like, okay, he's evil. I mean, then the next day he's looking at chickens and they're all dead the same night. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
so how am I supposed to empathize with this character? Like, if you want to create a good character who's like an anti-Superman, you need to gradually have him change into the evil Superman. Because then you kind of are sympathetic for him at the beginning, then you go, oh shit, this guy's evil. Well, in this case, it's like, well, he's just evil from the beginning, so why do I fucking care?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think they try to do that with like I get what you're saying is like they introduced that girl that sat in front of him in class. Like I thought that was going to be a whole story, but then Like they try to make like a sad story about him getting bullied, getting pushed on the ground, and the girl had to help him up, but it just wasn't filling.
No. And that's the thing. It's like, he actually had people bullying him. Did he kill any of them? No.
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 Yeah.
Did he
that's
go after
true.
him? No. Instead, he went after his uncle, who got him a cool toy or a cool, present for his birthday.
Exactly. And I guess you could argue that that's just showing how far down the rabbit hole he's gone, but he was hell-bent on killing his aunt, and then all of a sudden his uncle's there, and he's like, your costume's stupid, which I agree with, and he tries to get him to go into his truck, and et cetera, whatever, the rest of the story is, of course, in stone, but it's just one of those things that's like, why go, like, why let his aunt live all of a sudden? She's still probably going to tell the principal or whoever that he's made no progress. He's not even trying to hide the fact that he's like not remorseful for anything he does. Like if he was a smart kid, like Clark
Which
Kent's
he's supposed to be.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
technically we can't call him Superman or Clark Kent because this is Sony and copyright and all that. But for the sake of this podcast, we'll just keep calling him like the Clark Kent and stuff like that. But because Clark Kent is a smart kid when he's growing up, and I don't know, it's just a weird way. It's just a weird thing.
He was super smart, and then he went evil, and then he just was dumb.
Yeah.
So the second part I did want to bring up for this movie is like I felt like it had a lot of potential, but like you guys are saying, like it just wasn't there, like the build up or the story building or like who the desire, like who he's killing, and like just like I feel like it was just like Yemmy said, it was just like a click of a finger and all of a sudden he's like out to kill everyone. And then they try to do a reverse flip where he was there one morning and he was like all happy and he's like, oh, I'm just been thinking. It was just like, what? And then the dad gets all mad at him again. It's like, oh, there you go. He's back being evil again. It's like, what?
Yeah, I agree. The movie definitely had potential. Like, if it had been handled by people who wrote a good story or understood things like psychology or something, I think it could have been really good, but it wasn't.
And like Yemmy said, like if the mother was possessed and like alongside with him, like a secret, like that would have been awesome too. Like the dream or the nightmare you want to call it, the dad had, where he revisited the where they got the boy first. Like if the mother turned around and was like evil and like part of like the kid, that would have been great. Like I think that would have like upped my rating for the movie.
Well, right there was when I thought that like for sure she was possessed. Like he was having a premonition of she is possessed by this evilness because she was like holding the baby and the baby's eyes were red and blah blah blah. That's where I thought like that was like, oh yes, she's definitely it, and then she wasn't.
Would have been good, like a good twist. So, like, the mom is possessed by the kid, so the dad ends up having to kill the mom, and then before he can kill the kid possessed the dad. So then the dad takes the role of the mom, and then they go off and murder everybody together.
Or just have the kid kill the dad after he kills the mom. I think.
Yeah, either way would work.
You still have that kind of ending where they're like, oh, the plane crashed. But
yeah,
we'll probably talk about the ending later. I don't want to start on that now.
No.
I do feel like they did a good job of building up some tension in this movie.
Yes,
there were a lot of intense moments. Some of them were kind of goofy because, like, the one part where the aunt's like turning on and off the light and he's in the window, I kind of chuckled at that just because of how absurd it was. But I think for the most part through the movie, they did a good job of like just having the music and having this strange, swooping figure, and it all kind of worked pretty well together to give it that really intense kind of feeling to it.
I like the part where the laptop was opening and closing, and then he was like behind the curtain. I think that part was kind of creepy.
Was he actually behind the curtain?
I don't think he was. Here's the thing: when she said his name in full, I was like, "What the fuck?" She was like, "That was Brendan." It's like, really?
It's like you knew his name.
It's just so weird that like she like in her head like it was so certain. I'm like, I didn't see anything in that window, anything in that curtain when they panned over to, and I reversed the movie and watched it again.
I saw his like face a little, like they showed his face.
I think
he was. Yeah, I think he was actually there for a second. Like you see throughout his movie, he's there for 1 second, and then like half a second later, it's just half across the area. but also like I think it was like flicked open the computer and then like turned the since he guessed has electricity powers in this because he was messing with electricity, he turned the music back on, and then when she turned around, when she closed it, she turned around, flipped it back on. But
I don't know. I don't know if
I
he
don't
had
think he's that
electricity
fast.
powers. I think.
Well,
I
he
think.
did kind of.
I think
was
he just
causing
kind of,
some.
mess with.
EMPs.
Yeah.
He was messing with electricity like a lot of times in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, he was. But even so, like the fact that she's just like so sure of like saying, "Yep, it was
Yeah.
him." It's like, no one would jump to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Especially since she was like friendly to him. So why would she?
Yeah,
think,
why
oh,
saw her son? She hates him.
Yeah, it was.
Well, there's a lot of good reason why she hates him, but
After-
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
But
what
the
happens,
reason that she does,
what
it's not
happens to
clear
her, though?
enough. Like,
Yeah.
if he was like physically like peeking out from the curtain, and like she like screamed for her mom, and that's when he knew like, oh shit, this is a bad idea, and then left. Like then I would understand why she hated him so much.
he
But
left too early though. He left like extremely fast.
well, I
and-
think he would. I think he left at the right time. But I think that like because of the fact that as audience members we did not see him fully, and obviously it was dark, and she probably could not see him fully. Why the
True.
heck is she like? All of a sudden, she just like Brightburn himself, in a snap of a finger, she all of a sudden hates him. So now, the whole recess or the gym scene can happen where he crushes her hand and blah 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 blah, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
I want him like just kind of like laughed at the moment. He's like, I want him arrested. I want him in cuffs. I'm like, I'm saying it's a little extreme for a 12-year-old, but like I get like she's mad they broke her hand, but I think it's like a little extreme though. I want him in cuffs. I want this. I'm like, what?
I mean, yeah, it comes back down to the director, though. I mean, like I said, if it was like directed properly, I think it could have been like a lot different, like a whole.
Yeah,
new
if it
script,
had like a
I think it
true
also would
reason.
have need to be have a lot of reworks on the script.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I agree with that.
Also, like, you guys know that scene where like he killed the girl's mother, I think it was, when she like the lights are flickering. It's like, oh, let me just walk straightly under it and look up at it.
The thing that bugs me about the eye scene, which again I didn't watch this time because that was the whole reason I went, no, I don't want to see this movie when it came out in theaters. Is they released that scene. I was like, oh, this is not the type of movie I thought it was going to be at all. I don't care for it. But
Mhm.
when she pulls it out, who pulls it? Like, you have a shard of glass in your eye, and your first thought is, I should pull this out. No, you go to the hospital.
You run the heck out of there.
You call 911. You do something. You don't pull it out. That's just gonna bleed everyone.
Make
Well-
it worse.
What I want to comment about that scene is like, yeah, she had the sharded eye, but her eye, like they try to give her her perspective of it. I'm pretty sure her left eye wouldn't have looked like that when it was on camera.
It would
They
not.
should have like blurred it up a little more or something. Like that would have been cool, but no.
She could
it's
not
like,
be able to see
was like-
or anything out of the eye.
Yeah,
it was
she
like
would
Call of Duty when you
see
get
still.
hurt too much and the red starts to go around the side.
Yeah,
of it.
it's like really.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they could have done more with the blurring out the eye and like even just like have half of the screen go black. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
I think
But,
they just want him to be like, oh, it's all glowy and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like,
the movie
I don't
would-
think it
the movie
needs to
would-
be.
Yeah, the movie was trying too hard to be a slasher gory film when it's like, no, this is not what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
You have real potential here, and you're squandering it by making it. Let's just add gore everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I
if they went full into it like a Saw movie, then I would kind of be more on board with
Yes.
it. But they had, I think, let's see. So there was the eye shard, and then the police officer at the end who kind of flops over the bed. Who were
The uncle with his jaw.
The jolly one.
that
jaw.
fucking made me laugh. That was such terrible CGI work there, and like,
It was,
The
I
whole
was
premise
bad.
of
No, it
like
was
what
bad.
happened to
On
him.
who? But,
The fucking
like, why would he like
biting the
open his
steering
mouth? It's
wheel.
like. It looked like he was just about to de-throat the steering wheel because he could. It didn't look like he actually would have done that.
It was just funny. I mean, I understand like, oh, he didn't have a seatbelt on, kids. Make sure you have your seatbelt on, or you're gonna swallow the steering wheel. But the CGI for the most part in this movie was kind of laughable, especially the blood effects when like, especially after she pulled the shard out of her eye when she coughed up blood. Just the CGI blood just did not look good on the floor. The blood coming from the police officer who rolls over off of the bed. That was really
Yeah.
fake. And then they did a few kill scenes where it's just off screen, right?
Yeah.
The African American
parents.
police officer, the mom, the dad. Even they cut the black during that, and I would have liked to see the hole through his head. You know, something. Just either go
Like,
all the way in like a Saw movie, or make it more like Tay wanted it, where it's like a little bit more subtle. You know, you can't
Like,
be somewhere in the middle because then it just doesn't work. It feels disjointed.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see on the CGI when he throws the lawnmower. That looks so bad.
Yeah, that was so dumb. I was like,
Especially
how does he even throw it
2019.
like that?
Wouldn't the,
Like,
wouldn't
how
the
does it
lawnmower
land
fly
like that?
too?
Wouldn't it explode?
I don't know if it would explode, but I think it
It
would have
would've-
had some airtime, you know, because the propeller's moving.
And I mean,
Blade.
it would have smashed. Like, it would not be running after it landed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's also true.
Yeah, because they would have
And-
stopped running because you got to hold the handle down in mid-flight. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the reason why it was still running, I think the writers were trying to get away with like, oh, the way it landed with the handle,
Yeah.
no, on the Earth,
No.
you know, it landed and it pushed in. Yeah, but no.
The thing is, like,
You have to
other
over-explain.
Superman movies have done that better. Where Clark realizes, oh, I can't be broken. Other Superman movies and shows have done that scene before and done it better. I don't know why they went, let's do it this way. It doesn't make sense.
Oh
in
no!
the
Who knows
movie.
what's going on to directors?
Even Hancock did it better with the train running into him. Like, I thought that
Yeah.
was more effective than, oh, let me just put my hand into this blade randomly. I hope nothing
Yeah, the kid didn't
happens.
even know he was indestructible or anything. Like,
Yeah, not
like,
that point. It was
yeah,
just like,
you-
you don't jump to, maybe my hand won't be cut off if I put it into this blade.
that was just another, you know,
Just this.
point of snapping the finger. You know, it was just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, like try lifting something heavy, not like putting your hand in a blade that could possibly cut your hand off.
Yeah, pick up the family tractor, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
The old Clark Kent classic.
Right.
So are we all good on that? And there's another point I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
for
go
it.
So-
ahead, go for it.
What was with the barn? Like, I don't get, like, it seemed like every other scene, it was the mother or the son running to the barn. I was like, what's the point? I mean, yeah, I know the spaceship was there, but it was like hide
I
and
feel
seek.
fun.
Like, hide and seek? Let's go hide in the barn. Like, okay.
He's not supposed to be in the barn.
Also, that kid could not have gone that far. Like, 'cause I think this is before his super speed. Because before he was in the current, and then he's just imagining in the barn, and what happened in 2 seconds.
Also, his
Yeah.
whistle was really, really loud from inside the house.
Yeah, inside the house, and he's already in the barn in 2 seconds. Like, yes, this makes sense.
I mean, I guess you could say he ran to the barn after doing the whistle, but to be,
It took
I mean,
that-
it didn't seem
The
like it.
barn looked at least like a half a mile away
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
shots.
So it's like they saw him running, and it's going to take them some time. He can't run that fast that area. So it's like, this doesn't make any sense.
And plus, even if he was running, it was all open field. The mother couldn't see him.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe she has
But-
anti-elvish eyes. She can only see 2 feet in front of her. Yeah.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But okay, to the end of the movie.
To the end.
So I
Yeah.
like that this movie clearly was trying to set up like its own cinematic universe where they're like they had Rooker, the guy from Guardian of the Galaxies, like he was a conspiracy theorist and he was going off on all these different monsters, and it was clearly them trying to like do a cinematic universe, and they were going to do all of those. But this movie did so bad, it didn't happen.
It did not.
What maybe you guys can explain this, or maybe I just missed it. Is the kid painted like the anatomy of the body, and then they had that the mother found the dead body with the body open. What was that all about? Like, is he trying to
they only
make
did that for
more?
like one scene, one person.
Yeah, it was like
gone away.
0.5 seconds. Like, is he trying to make more of what he is, or the devil that's
Was
inside him
never
trying to make more?
explained.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
they
it was-
never explained it. I'm like, the fuck.
To be honest, I think it was just to show like what happened to the woman, because that was the
Yeah.
same woman who was in the diner.
Yeah, that was the mom.
That was the mother of the girl.
Yeah.
That randomly disappears and never comes back.
They did to the
It's not so
chickens, too.
random. Well, the chickens are still there. They're all dead in the cage.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think he did like he took the organs out of the chickens because they were like open too.
Well, that's true.
He-
I do remember
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
didn't
sure what
notice
he was doing there. It's
that.
like, cool. I was like, oh my god, chickens! Let me just take the organs.
Like, I can fap with this.
Talking about parts to skip, that part with the whole like, oh, we should talk to him because the parents are like, oh, here's a cut up picture of the human body that's open. Oh, we should talk about sex with them. What?
Yeah,
Like
masturbate. Yeah.
skip?
Skip.
It's,
No,
it's
that
so-
part was so useless.
that was like one of the worst oh, you should, if it's okay to act on your urges sometimes. Like that was the I think that was like the justification for him going to that girl's house.
Yeah.
Obviously,
was.
it was kind of awkward, that whole
Yeah.
scene. But I thought like that was just a weird, very weird thing to say, especially
Yeah.
to a 12-year-old kid.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Hey, you were gonna say something. Yep.
I was gonna say something, but now I forgot it.
Oh,
Dang.
I'm
Oh,
horrible.
Oh wait, no.
Oh.
It was like,
Oh wait, no. Dang.
damn it. Now I definitely.
Here-
I'll come back.
well, here's I'll go with this. So at the end of the movie, they say, oh, it was an airplane crash that killed the mother and the father. What did they do about the 2 police officers who called in the disturbance and the police
Yeah.
cars and the bodies of the police officers?
Oh, well,
Well, plus they called it in, so like everyone knew, like, oh, the sheriffs are over at the Byer residence, and they're asking for backup.
Mm-hmm.
the kid was disrupting the kid was disrupting the frequency. Remember?
Well, don't forget that the
okay.
sheriff called for backup in his car when he went
He
there.
did.
Oh yeah.
And then at the
Yeah.
door, I think he also talked into his radio as well, right before Brightburn, Superman punched his body to a million bloody pieces.
So they sent backup. Sends 2 people.
But
Yeah, I
also,
don't remember
how,
that,
how
though.
stupid is it that the woman police officer with the shotgun sees Brendan through the door staring at her, and she looks down at her radio to talk into it.
Yeah, why not just
Don't look away if you have
Yeah,
eyes on
that's really
something.
like the entire
It
thing.
wouldn't have mattered if she'd looked away. She was dead anyways.
It's the principle of the thing. Like, what are you doing looking away? Like, if you think someone's a threat to you, you keep
stare
an eye,
at
you keep
Yeah,
eye
yeah.
contact with them.
No,
right?
you do. All right, I remember what I was going to say. So, I mean, it's also pretty predictable, the movie. How it was, especially as like halfway through, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, no, now I know where this is going now, and it's not we're good. So halfway through, I had to stop watching just because I had to work on some stuff. So I was like, I'll watch this the rest later.
Mhm.
But I'm like, it's going to end in one of 2 ways, maybe both. I was like, either the mom's going to try to kill him with the spaceship piece, or they're just both going to die. And it was both.
Yeah. Also, I had to say for that, the mother held that piece so high that it was so obvious what she was trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
from the
will.
get-go,
I
you
agree
knew
with you
was
on
gonna
that.
work,
I'm just like, why are you holding it so high? Just do it. It's like, I must. It's like, you must kill him. It's like, well, you're dead now because you're an idiot.
Yeah, I think
That wouldn't have been good for the sequel if they would have killed Brandon. Come on, guys.
she could have at least injured him, like have her do something. But instead, it's just like, all right, I'm gonna stop
you
you
did.
right there. And
Yeah, but is he killable though? I mean,
With
Well,
the
they-
spaceship, yeah.
well, yeah, they showed that the piece of the spaceship cut his hand. That was
Which
Ah,
makes
that's
kind of
true.
no sense, but gonna.
it makes
It's the kryptonite.
Yeah.
It's from his home planet. The other thing I liked that they kind of tried to do but did it poorly was in the classroom they start talking about like bees and wasps, and I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna be like a wasp, like baby. They put him into the nest and he's supposed to kill everyone so they can take the world.
No.
But it wasn't executed very well.
mm,
I can see that as, but yeah, it just doesn't. It wasn't
like they
fully
were going
fleshed
to have
out.
him, like spread or something, like spread onto other people. Like, I don't know, making a whole army of him was, I don't know, something like that. But it's like, nah, because it was like the wasp thing just show you like he is smart. I guess you can. Like,
yeah, I think that scene was just all about like, oh, look how smart he is, and then to set up the girl,
Yeah, be
liking
nice to
him,
me
and then
before
the mother, being, who she is. It was just to make movie time, pretty much.
Just a set up.
pretty useful.
Yeah.
Did
Any of the? Good.
Did anyone else laugh when Billie Eilish's "Bad Guy" started playing at the end?
Uh,
I burst out laughing. That was probably the funniest thing. Is like they show Brightburn. It's just like he's the bad guy, and I'm like, duh.
Science movie. It's been on the book.
It was
proving
just
that point.
such a stupid, funny song to have at the end of this movie, and it literally made the whole thing seem like a comedy at that point. I was laughing at the CGI. I was laughing at the ending credits. It's just like one of those things. It's like it's not
It's
so
so
bad
bad.
that it's good, but I'm laughing at
So
it.
bad, it's funny.
Which is not what you want from a slasher film.
No.
Oh, who else? Who else? Like when he says, like, "Oh, coming from you from Bobby a Brightburn." Who else saw? It was like roll credits.
Yeah.
Did any of the horrible jump scares scare you guys?
I didn't really.
Like one or two, but
I think the only one that
first one in
scared
the
me-
barn where he jumped out at the mom, like not even like playfully. I think that was the one that kind of startled me the most.
I think the only one that scared me is when she was looking for him while they were camping at the nighttime forest.
Oh, yeah,
I think that's the only one that but the other ones are kind of predictable.
Well,
Yeah.
it was a lot.
Like
of
you
cheap,
knew she was
though.
gonna go in the barn and he was gonna be there. I
Well,
mean,
it's cheap because they have the big loud sounding soundtrack. And of course you're gonna jump because it's a really loud noise.
That's what you do.
But the thing is, and Nick, you know how jumpy I am. I didn't jump throughout the whole movie.
yeah, wow.
it's just the music makes it predictable. It's like if you had like eerie music is fine because it kind of goes through a lot of movies. But if you don't have these like having music go louder when you're seeing, it's like okay, something's going to happen. And it's not going to be that scary because you already know something's going to happen.
The one thing I do appreciate is that they didn't have them make like any supernatural noises accompanied with the jump scare. Because you look at a movie like the Visit, which is a terrible M. Night Shyamalan movie. When the old grandma goes in front of the camera, she like makes this strange like wolf gargling werewolf noise, and it's like,
I'm a demon.
how
I
did
make
that
big
come
noises.
from her?
Like, yeah.
Because at the end of the movie, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but anyways, going back to this one, like it's nice that they didn't have him be like making those supernatural crazy noises that obviously
Yes, to show them he has actual language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yemmy only gets scared by like someone getting out of their chair and pushing their chair back against the hardwood floor. Then he'll jump.
chair?
No, I jump.
No,
at
jump
everything.
scare on screen.
Yeah, you're not expecting it when someone just makes a noise with their chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm the same way, so I get it.
But yeah, Brightburn, surprisingly, I don't think I jumped. I think I I had like a little like oh moment, but I never was like because it wasn't like it was one, it was too predictable like Coco said, and two, it just wasn't dramatic enough. Like it was intense, sure at times, but it wasn't like it's like you can obviously see it coming when like 5 times in this goddamn movie the person looks away, then looks back and he's gone, and then he goes boom. It's like okay, the first time it was kind of got me, but now that I've seen it several times, I don't care anymore.
Well, I mean, like jump scare, as in like your body kind of twitches. It does that sudden like movement, like that kind of jump scare. You're not but.
Also, sorry, that when she was like hiding on the bed of like the kid, and like she made one noise, and the kid came back, and she was gone, like hanging from the window. There was nowhere enough time for her to be on that window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that goes back to the kid supposedly being smart but dumb.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's supposed to have like Superman's powers, but clearly he doesn't have like super hearing because his parents were talking about him in loud whispers just on the other side of the room most of the time, and he's oblivious to all of it.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna do something with that, but it ended up just
Yeah.
not having that power.
Maybe that's in the next movie. He develops more powers.
There's not going to be a next one.
Indestructible.
No, there is.
I will.
They said there was going to be.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's what I
Well,
said.
they probably got canceled because it's been.
What I want to know is at the end of the movie, the kid's eating a cookie, back in the ambulance, And then what happens to him afterwards? Because in the credits they show him like destroying cities and doing that. Like, what happened? Does he like go to some other home? Does he?
Yeah.
I
Like,
can
Yeah,
only
he's
imagine
just-
that he tried to
he's-
save face by, putting up with the paramedics and stuff like that. And then after they lost sight of him, he went off and did whatever. Maybe he got the spaceship, and the spaceship gave him more instruction or whatever. It's hard to say.
yeah.
That's what another thing I wanted to bring up is, that airplane crashed into it. What about the spaceship? What about the little body he had,
Well,
So-
that all goes back to, what about the police officers? What about the police cruisers? What about...
And what,
Who knows? They could be
why do
answered
they have
all
like,
in the
the
next
government?
Maybe it's in a novelization? No, I don't think there is.
movie. No.
Surprised they didn't like introduce like, oh, the government's here, take you away. I'm like, what? Like,
His calling sign's pretty, it's BB, Brendan
Yeah.
Breyer, obviously. To us, maybe not to...
Is it BB?
Investigators.
It doesn't look like BB to me.
It just
mean,
looks like a figure eight.
No,
Well, yeah, it's like-
I saw BB
it looks more like
the
a-
entire time.
Really?
I think it looks more like a stick figure with their arms crossed.
Yeah.
There was no circle, though. So
Well,
it'd be
without a head.
decapitated.
weird calling
Yeah, I mean,
sign. They were like,
it's
Oh,
Brandon.
Tim's
so
the
he's
artistic.
decapitated.
Or Tim Tay. Why did I say Tim?
they never really explained the calling sign though.
I
they just-
think it's just supposed to be BB as in Brandon Breyer, right?
Oh,
And then
boy,
people started calling him Brightburn because of his, his calling sign. I think
Well,
Yeah.
because it happened in Brightburn was when all this shit started going down.
yeah.
Well, Brightburn's the county, so.
Well, they called him Brightburn.
Yeah.
At the end of the
But
movie.
But the cop car comes up and it says Brightburn County, so.
Yeah.
Yes,
Coming
but
to Brightburn County.
the
so-
guy who was doing the conspiracy series called him Brightburn. Like it was like, who is
Yeah.
Brightburn?
Okay.
It's still like stupid.
You might as well just
Yeah.
call him Brandon at this point. Like,
Yeah.
Brightburn isn't that
Everyone
cool
That's
of
knows.
a
all they
name.
called him in the entire movie. It's like Brandon.
What kind of
Like-
movie title would be Brandon, you know?
I mean, they call the movie Annabelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, point.
That's true.
Brandon might
That's-
make you go, well, what's this movie about? Brightburn. I told somebody, I was like, yeah, we're talking about Brightburn. And it's like, oh, is that like a really old movie? I've never heard of it. And I was like, it came out last year.
Well, that's why in the beginning of my introduction, that's why I said the evil Superman. Then people were like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like Odom for last week when I was
Movie
introduced.
introduced so well. It's not many people know.
He was like, "I never heard of Brightburn." I was like, "Evil Superman." He's like, "Oh, yeah, I've heard of that."
They should just call him Evil Superman because that's all people know.
That goes back to copyright issues because this
Yeah.
is Sony and not DC. If DC was doing it, it'd probably turn
I
out the
think
same
it would.
shitty way because DC sucks at making movies now.
I
But
think it'd be a little better, but not.
What you
But still, pretty bad.
But DC, like the actual comics, they've done this before. Like there are
Oh,
evil
plenty of times.
Superman.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's like you have, and I guess they can't copy those since those are owned by DC.
well, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know why the Guns didn't go, approach DC or Warner Brothers and be like, hey, I have a DC-esque show I want to do.
Like, okay, you guys don't know how to direct. Just get out.
I think this movie would have been 100% better if it was a DC animated film of evil
Yes.
Superman. I haven't seen I wanted to watch the Russian version of Superman. Is the new
I
animated
know
movie
what
that
you're
came
talking
out. That came out recently before doing this, but I didn't get to
Yeah,
watch
I
it.
came up
but
with it's called
I-
but I know what you're talking about.
I put it on my watch
He's looking
list.
up to put it announce it tonight.
Red
no.
Sun's what's called.
Yes, that's one.
That's right, Red Sun.
But unfortunately I didn't get to watch it in time. So
Oh,
oh well.
Take it as your movie when it's your turn.
Oh no.
All right, one last thing I want to bring up, and that'll be the end for me. Could Brightburn defeat Clark Kent?
No.
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 Superman has
Yeah.
way more powers than him. Like as we said, like he seems to only be able to fly, super strength, and really fast. But what's Superman got? Superman can fly. He can shoot laser. Well, I guess Brightburn can do that too. He can shoot laser beams out of
Brightburn
space.
could do that.
But Superman also has the cold breath. Obviously Superman has the better hair.
Oh,
Superman's
deciding factor right there.
Yep.
Superman's power is like really really strong compared to Brightburn. Like Brightburn's power is not that he's not too strong. Like he can throw. Yes, he has super strength. Yes, but he's not as strong as he. Not that. Well, compared to Superman's level, he's basically like an ant.
Well,
I mean-
developers, I think the way they want to take it is like he's building his powers. Like he's
Yeah.
going to get stronger as he goes.
Yeah, I guess they could have shown that in the movie a little bit better, but
Yeah, but
Yeah.
just like with his change into being evil, it's just one of those things. It's like, oh, all of a sudden he's like super strong now.
Also, he turned evil like in one day. Why didn't the thing just get hit to him sooner? It's like 12. It's like, all right, now he's gonna turn evil.
Well, I mean, the movie is kind of like a pseudo coming of age story. So like maybe at his birthday, that was the 12th birthday. That's when the pod activated because it's been that
pod activates after so many
we
years.
shouldn't go too in depth with this because we're just going to talk in circles.
Yeah, now we're going back.
Going back to the beginning.
Any words say on the?
Any words on what?
Any
on
words
beating-
on Superman?
No, I mean, I feel like Brandon is probably as like hard as he doesn't cut or break just like Superman, but I think Superman definitely would win. Superman would just grab him, fly him out into space,
Put him into the
And just
sun.
throw him into the sun.
and throw him in the sun. Superman likes the sun.
Him and the buddies.
Well, I thought that's what he was going to do with the mother. It's like fly him all the way up there and show like a whole new power. But nope.
I thought he was
Let's
going to
go.
have her burn up in the atmosphere. But
Yeah.
But then again, his clothes would have burned off, and then this PG-13 movie would have turned into like an A.
It was rated R.
It was
Rated
was
R.
it
It was
rated
rated
R?
R.
It
Yeah.
was rated R. So
They would have created a new R+.
Yeah.
Kid porn.
Oh
jeez.
God.
Tay, you're lucky we're
Alright.
so far into the podcast, the YouTube algorithm will never know. You said that word.
I'm not saying there should be kid porn. I'm just saying
No,
that's
you said
what
it
they
again.
have created.
No, you said it
All right.
again.
All right,
Strike
Greedy,
two.
Greedy, lead us off with your final thoughts.
All right, everyone's done. Go final thoughts.
Yes, yeah, I think
I'm
we're
good.
All right. So Brightburn, like I said at the beginning, it had a lot of potential. The base of the movie was there, but like the build up wasn't there, and it wasn't fulfilling enough. Like I thought there was a lot more they could have done with like the CGI, the snapping of the fingers, like him going evil, then the snap backwards of him going back to being nice, and then just like it was a lot of jumpy, like jump like to want this point A to point B, point C, back to point A. I think if it was directed, like if he had I don't know if he has experience directing evil movies, but I think if it was directed in other ways and like if missing pieces were put together, I think this movie could have been okay. But I'm gonna give this movie a 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I agree with everything you say. I mean, the movie just lacked that punch that you're looking for in a movie like this. Like I said before, like you need to either embrace the Saw-like qualities and go full blown on it, or cut it back and have it be more of a thriller. But this movie did do a good job of building up suspense at parts. I think there were some really well shot scenes. I think that for the most part, the acting was fine in the movie. Just the decision making by people, the way that his character changes so suddenly, so he's not really that sympathetic at all throughout the movie, and just like the overall arching like dumbness of the scenes. Really, it falls very flat. So I agree. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 as well.
Pretty much, yeah, I agree with most everything you guys say. That we've talked about. It's a really bad movie. Like it had potential, and they lost it. They didn't do anything with that potential. I'll give it a 2. Just being generous.
I agree with you guys all. Like the movie had like the idea of the movie wasn't bad. It's just the way they executed it was just awful, basically compared to. It would have been cool if they had a twist that the mother was maybe was infected or became possessed by the spaceship as well. That's why she was defending. Probably would have made the movie a lot better. But the CGI was awful. The gory stuff was like changing in the movie. Like sometimes it wasn't, sometimes it was, and overall it was just it was just a bad movie. So I'll give it a 2 out of 5.
I mean, it would have just been awesome, like if like everyone he killed, like he did the same anatomy stuff with them in that scene. Like if he went to that spaceship, and then like, or the mother went to that spaceship, and everybody was there.
They basically had that like, just like, oh, he can kill him. It's like, can we get more on the spaceship?
Well, and at that point, he'd only killed 2 people, though.
Well, when the mother went to the spaceship, what? No, that was the end of the movie. So he killed a bunch of people.
He killed like
I guess
4.
he killed the father.
Oh, that's
right.
a bunch of people.
5. Yeah, I guess it would be 5 at that point because the 2 police officers, the father.
Well, he wouldn't have had time to do it for the police officers or the dad.
Yeah,
That's
Which is
true.
why I'm thinking, like the time ones.
that would be
had time
funny
for
though
it.
if like all of a sudden like all the bodies are just piled up there and he's like, "Hold on, mom."
Oh, yeah.
Or like if he turned like everybody he killed like evil. No, that would have been a good thing. But
I'd make him as this body. Like, that'd be cool.
I think,
Anyways.
I think they flew too close to the sun with the similarities between Superman and this character. I think if they went a little bit
That's a good
farther
point.
into left field, I think
Yeah, that's a good
maybe
point.
use a little bit more imagination, it would have been better. But
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's enough.
Yes. All right.
Tay,
Never talk of it
Take it
again.
off.
yeah, Tay,
Hey,
you have a
My turn.
suggestion for
All right.
us.
I do have a suggestion for us. So we are going to be watching A Quiet Place from 2018.
Ah.
Yes.
Directed by John Krasinski. Written by Brian Wood, Scott Beck. Stars Emily Blunt, John Krasinski, Millicent Simmons, and Noah Jupe, Cade Woodward, Leon Russom. So I never got to see this one. I've always wanted to, so I figured, yeah, let's do it. It's free on Prime at the moment. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it free, which is what made me decide to do it.
Yeah, it's on Hulu
Movie's
as well.
okay.
It's on everything.
Yeah, not Netflix. Not anymore. No, it isn't on Netflix anymore.
No, it's not. It
Not
was
anymore.
never on
Yeah.
Netflix, as
Oh,
far
was
as
it?
I know.
Oh, I'm thinking of
Yeah,
Bird
I thought they
Box.
would have it.
Thinking of Bird
Yeah,
Box.
sure ain't on Disney Plus.
You know, the interesting thing is Quiet Place Part 2 was supposed to come out this year, but they pushed it back because of the virus. So,
Yes.
be a good revisit for me.
Yeah, I vaguely remember watching the movie, but last time, what I can remember, it was like, it's okay.
I don't remember if we saw it together in the theater. I do remember seeing it in the theater, though.
No,
I remember seeing it in theater too.
All right.
Yeah,
Quiet
all right.
Place. Awesome.
Good episode,
Another
guys.
horror movie.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we'll reconvene in 2 weeks to talk about A Quiet Place from 2018. Also, don't forget that the fan vote is going to be attached to the next episode on my Twitter, which will be shared out by everyone else. We do appreciate everyone who listens, of course, and watches the YouTube video. Anything else you guys want to say? Any last minute thoughts?
Nope.
Nope,
No.
I'm good.
All right. Well, until next time, I am Yemmy the Ferret, and I've been here with,
Brady Waffle.
Hey, Mation.
Coco Gamer.
and we are Film Freaks with a Z. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
See you.
Bye.
See ya.